Okay, so the Las Vegas Raiders won the offseason. I think it's pretty easy to say that. It's very easy to say that, especially looking into what they did during free agency. Free agency, as a matter of fact, has come to kind of a close. You know, we've had the biggest deals already pass us. So with those being done, and with everything that's going down, we're looking forward to the NFL draft in a couple weeks or a couple days, depending on when this video comes out. And before we get started, Osej, what do you think the Las Vegas Raiders' biggest issue was to address?
Oh, offensive line. I saw your star running back in Ashton Genty, who still managed to get 1,000 yards, get slaughtered in the backfield almost every damn game. You had Geno Smith playing quarterback, which is a war crime in and of itself. And then man, you then pissed off Max Crosby. So I mean, Raiders were pretty much doing everything they could to be a bad organization. But that's honestly it, bro. They were just fucking up everything.
And the Raiders did everything they could do to suck. And I will say this: how does a team bounce back from 3-14 season? Well, I will say they started off amazing, trading Max Crosby for 2 first, and had the trade gone through, had the trade cleared, you know, probably. I mean, I still would say they won the offseason. Without a shadow of a doubt, they would have won the offseason. They would have had the 14th overall pick. They would have an extra pick in this first round, which is especially needed because this draft is looking cracked out. This draft. So getting a first round pick in this draft would have been amazing. But you still got Max Crosby. I don't think anybody's complaining, but I think the biggest issue is you probably won't compete with Max Crosby on the roster. You're gonna have to talk that one up. Oh, I'm not saying. Wait, hold on. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, yo,
The
I was
Raiders
saying, like,
aren't
hey man, they
the
can.
Raiders aren't going to be ready to compete while Max Crosby's still on contract.
That's fair enough.
By the time they're ready to compete, he'll probably or already traded. I still think you should explore trading him. But that's not what this video's about because one of the issues the Raiders faced, besides the terrible O-line, which they did address in the offseason by signing Tyler Linderbaum to a 3-year, $81 million. That was slightly addressed, and obviously they should draft some O-linemen. And that was probably the plan with the 14th pick, which would have been amazing. Because seeing what they did in free agency, it's very clear that they were planning around having Max Crosby because they got Quiddy Pay, which is a edge rusher in the
Hmm.
in free agency. They got N'Kobe Dean, they got Quay Walker, 2 linebackers who are great at attacking the quarterback. When it comes to N'Kobe Dean, he's kind of better at stuff in the run, maybe even getting into a couple passing lanes. But they signed them to sizable contracts. N'Kobe Dean specifically 3 years, $36 million. But I mean, with all that being said, with all that being done, Oseji, what do you think the Raiders' move in the draft is after obviously drafting Fernando Mendoza? I mean, I think we all agree he's the consensus first overall pick. And it's not even about talent per se. It's just about it's obvious what the Raiders need. It's obvious what the Raiders should draft. Fernando Mendoza is the guy. But besides him, in the second round, the third round, or even the fourth round, who should the Raiders be talking?
Shit, man. Well, you already got Ashton Genty. You already have Brock Bowers. You get Fernando Mendoza. Hopefully, most likely, they don't pull no bullshit. I'm the Raiders. Pick up some. I would say either pick up some more offensive linemen. Pick up some more quality offensive linemen. I would say draft another wide receiver. You could probably be able to pick up a player like Jeremy Bernard, who I personally think is a very good all around guy that could fit that offense. But your biggest issue right now is y'all need offensive linemen. If Jimmy Bernard is still there by this third round, get Jimmy Bernard. You have a guy who's like a Swiss Army knife, pretty much can do everything. Run the ball, play tight end, block, catch deep pass. He's pretty much the guy you would want if you wanted who can do everything, but you didn't want a fucking tight end. Other than that, honestly, after you focus on the offensive line, I would say you could maybe go pick up some defensive pieces. They're not really your biggest issue that you have Max Crosby back there, you know. But realistically, the biggest issue they need to address is the offensive line. If you send Fernando Mendoza out there to go get slaughtered, and he's also watching Ashton Denty get slaughtered, it's not going to end well. I can tell you this now. It will not end well.
Just seeing the Seahawks do it, I think they should go after more defense, especially in the secondary. They need secondary help. I mean, they got some decent guys out there, but decent does you need to go out there and get yourself a lockdown corner, which isn't easy to come across. D'Angelo Ponce could be. He could be. He could be available in the second round. It could also be taken in the first. I mean, that would be a reach from the team who takes him. In the third round, really, it doesn't matter. O lineman, wide receiver, just continue to build what you have. What are you going to do? Are you going to be a run the ball team, a pass the ball team? What are you going to do? I think the answer is already there for you. But besides that, really, that's all that there is to talk about. They traded Geno Smith. to the New York Jets. If you weren't aware of that somehow, they traded him to New York Jets. So the quarterback room basically empty. I don't know who they have on the roster as quarterbacks, but if they got to draft a quarterback in like the 5th or 6th round, get a backup for Fernando. But other than that, not much to say about the Raiders besides they're in position, have a very successful, a very good rebuild, a very honestly one of like it could be the example on how to win if they do this right. But that's always how it is if a team
Nah,
does. Nah,
I think the Seahawks and the Eagles stand at the peak of how to win Super Bowls. Because I know you said defense was championships, but I think we're all forgetting that the Seahawks didn't turn over the ball once in the post. They had Charbonnet back there. You had Kenneth Walker, JSN. You had Cooper fucking Cup, AJ Barner. You had Rashid Shaheed. All right.
they did get
You
Rashid
can't sit here and
Shaheed.
tell me defense wins championships. And meanwhile, they got that offensive
Well,
firepower in
no,
the
they had
backfield.
a nice offense, but that offense by itself, that
That
offense
offense by
wasn't
itself
winning
put a
right.
40 on the 49ers.
That's the 49ers. Half the 49ers defense was in the hospital.
That offense put up 300 and something yards against the Rams. I think we can confidently say that offense could have done some shit.
Hey, the Seahawks had a good offense. We can't even lie about that. But
So the Eagles.
their defense was amazing. The Eagles also, when they won, had defense. Defense still wins championships.
Yeah,
Because when you get in those
let's not
close
take away
tight
from that.
games, who's going to make a stop when those teams shine? They made stops. Feel up the offense. Be my guest. Just don't be mad when you end up like Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
The
Anyways,
Denver Broncos against the Seahawks in the
and
Super
the
Bowl.
Broncos. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked the video, leave a comment down below. What do you think the Raiders' biggest moves need to be? Or maybe what other team do you think has a chance to have a great rebuild? We will be talking about it in the next video as well. But other than that, Oseji, do you have one last thing to say to the people?
Nope. That's about it, man. Raiders, let's make some shit shake.
With that, we out.